Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us on here on the Father Show today. And I'm your host, Mike Thompson. Today, we have Kim Farmer of Mile High Fitness and Wellness. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on the Father Show. I'm so glad that you have come by and stopped in to check out the show today. Now, today, we have a young lady by the name of Kim Farmer, and she is the CEO of Mile High Fitness and Wellness, which is a corporate wellness organization serving companies of all sizes and individuals of all ages. She has successfully helped companies integrate holistic wellness programming into their workplace, helping them to reduce stress levels and improve performance and productivity while helping people make long-lasting changes for better health and outcome. She is a regular contributor to several media outlets, including print and radio, and has published books, articles, and DVDs. She also has a strong passion for serving non-profit organizations with her health and wellness expertise and freely gives her time to community-based public health efforts. Now, she is a two-time winner of Colorado State Open. Please welcome Miss Kim Farmer. Kim, how you doing?
I'm good, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm all right. So I've got to ask you first, what is Colorado State Open?
Oh, it's a tennis tournament that's held in Colorado once a year.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so I'm a big tennis player. I'm a huge tennis fan. Do you play?
I like playing, but I can't get my wife to play. So,
Okay.
but I enjoy it. And one of my best friends, him and his wife are huge tennis fanatics. They've even gone out to the Open in New York and so forth. So they're big
Oh,
time
yeah.
Open.
Well, we
But
could
I
get along
love playing.
well.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, it's a
playing
lot
it.
of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So much fun. And it's a great workout.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird story. The last time I played tennis, which was I think about a year ago, I went reaching out for the ball and my shoes stopped and I went face first into the ground and it
Oh,
wasn't pretty.
no. Oh, no. Well,
It was,
don't let that have you give up on it now.
oh, by no means,
Yeah.
no. No, it wasn't pretty, but I have no intention of letting that stop me ever from playing tennis again.
Okay. That's
That
good.
was
Yeah, get back out on the court.
Oh yeah, I just know I'm gonna wear different shoes than I did that day.
That's that's the key. Yes. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So let me ask you. Now we're gonna be talking about fitness and wellness. What is fitness and wellness?
Well, so fitness is basically the body's ability to move and to reach optimum levels of fit.
Hmm.
So I just try to encourage people to not necessarily look towards right away in the beginning if they're just starting out to look towards what they can do maximally, but just starting out in small steps and taking things slowly and building up from there.
Yeah.
And wellness, I see it as a holistic. When I think of the word wellness, I think holistic. So it's not just about fitness or nutrition. It's about all the dimensions of wellness that affect us, mind, body, and soul. So
Hmm.
inside and out. And that's how I think about wellness when I hear that term.
Yeah, because wouldn't wellness, not just the fitness part, wouldn't wellness also include your mind, body, and spirit as well?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, in fact, yes, that's exactly the reason why the name of the business changed. It used to be just Mile High Fitness,
Hmm.
and then I added the term and wellness because I started we were doing a lot of holistic wellness programs. So I just went ahead and changed the name.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, wellness incorporates mind, body, and spirit, inside and out.
Yeah. And and I
Mm.
know when you say that, when you start with the fitness, you have to start slow. Now, how do you help people that really don't like to work out or like to exercise? How do you get them to start being fit?
Yeah, that's tough. Some people just do not enjoy movement, or I should say, they don't enjoy exercise. So I try to, I try to encourage them to just think about movement. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Because sometimes when you think about the word exercise, work comes to mind. You're thinking, oh, I have to do some work to do this
Yeah.
thing. But many times it's really just about moving. So
Okay.
if you like to dance, you can
Hmm.
dance, and
No.
that's a form of exercise.
Okay.
Uh, if you
Is
like
that
to
anything that
walk,
gets your heart rate up?
yes.
Okay.
So anything that elevates your heart rate over a sustained amount of time
Hmm.
is what I try to encourage people to do. So if they're not motivated, then usually I'll ask them, well, do you have 10 minutes today to just move? And most people will say, yeah, I have 10 minutes. Who doesn't have 10 minutes? Right? So
Right.
I tell people, I tell people start with that. What do you don't have 10 minutes, Mike?
It depends on what you want me to do with that 10 minutes.
In that 10 minutes, yes. I understand. Well, because most of the time, if people can move for 10 minutes, then they're probably gonna move a little bit longer than that. So I just
Yeah.
say, start with 10 minutes. Hopefully they enjoy the movement and they keep doing it. And then eventually just building up from there.
Yeah. So
So
you would
that's
really
how I
want to
keep.
find something that you enjoy doing that
That's
elevates
right,
your heart
yes.
rate. Yeah.
Very important to enjoy what you're doing. That's, I mean, number one. Because if you don't like it, then you're not gonna want to stick with it.
Yeah.
So it's very important to love what you're doing. So people can try different things.
Now, I know I love lifting weights. I enjoy that, but it doesn't really elevate my heart rate. Is there other ways that you can do that if you like lifting weights but don't like, well, I can't run because my knees won't allow it. So, is there other
Hmm.
ways that I can elevate my heart?
Hmm. Hmm. Actually, lifting weights can elevate your heart rate too if it's intense enough. So if you're doing intense weight training, then definitely your oxygen's going to go up, your heart rate's going to go up. So that is definitely something to consider. But outside of that, any cardiovascular exercise like walking, for
Mm-hmm.
example. So you mentioned running because of your knees. I have bad knees too, so I
Okay.
totally understand. So, but walking, walking you can do and not do as much damage to your knees as running. So that's one
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
But I used to teach a lot of Zumba classes, and people would always say, it doesn't even feel like exercise. It just feels
Hmm.
like it feels like you're at a party dancing. I don't know
Hmm.
if you've tried Zumba before.
I haven't tried it. No.
Okay. Okay.
I,
Well, you should. It's fun.
I have to check that
You
out.
know.
I
Hmm.
Yeah, and I know when you're lifting weights, if you don't take the long rest, is that what you're referring to when you say you get your heart
Oh,
rate up?
exactly. Yeah. So in between sets, the sets are
Yeah.
shorter. You might be lifting a little bit faster, maybe using lighter weights. So
Okay.
that would be endurance training. So you're
Okay.
lifting slightly lighter weights and then less rest in between. You're just constantly moving. And then you can always incorporate cardiovascular exercise in between the sets to keep your heart rate up
Mm-hmm.
while so your lifting session incorporates cardiovascular exercise as well.
Yeah.
And those two things together, are really good for you.
Yeah. So any cardio can help. Like you said, walking. and biking for that matter. Because that's what I used to do when
Exactly.
I was going to the gym. I'd get on the bike. My wife would get on the treadmill. I get on the bike because, and I love running, but it's just, I'm going to pay for it dearly
Yeah.
afterwards.
Limitation. Yes,
Yeah.
I totally get it. Yes, biking is a great form of exercise, and it's easier on the joints for sure
Hmm.
than jogging.
Hmm.
But you will burn less calories because you're in a seated position as compared to walking or jogging.
Okay.
So, but it's still very good, a very good form of exercise.
Now, how is swimming when it goes to
Oh,
cardiovascular?
oh my goodness. Now, swimming, on the other hand, is, a very, very good form of cardio because you're using every single muscle to
Hmm.
stay in the water, and your whole entire body is engaging in that particular exercise. And it's great for people that have injuries or bad joints,
Hmm.
overuse injuries, and for older adults as well. It's used as a therapeutic exercise in many cases for people that are overweight or disabled or older. Like I said, using water as a form of exercise is excellent.
Hmm.
Excellent.
So, how do you help corporate men that are in the corporate world do their get their fitness in and you
Mhm.
know get that 10 minutes or so to work out?
Yeah, there's several things we have done for companies that have a high percentage of male populations. So
Hmm.
usually, in some cases, in some of those cases, they may be manual labor workers. Maybe there's a large, construction company where there's a lot of men working there, and typically they'll have safety meetings on a regular basis. So we have gone in during the safety meetings and held exercise sessions, short ones, might be
Okay.
just 10 or 15 minutes, but getting them up and moving, even for that 10 or 15 minutes throughout the day, is important. And then specifically focusing on muscle muscles and movements that will help to reduce overuse injuries because some of those occupations they're using the same movements every single
Hmm.
time, and
Hmm.
that can cause injury. So just teaching them the importance of stretching, the importance of strength training or resistance training, even just using your own body weight has an impact on
Okay.
it has an impact, a positive impact on you. So we've done that, for example, and then the other thing is that we speak to companies about when they have higher male populations, just helping them to understand about the mentality of men, how very different it is from women
Hmm.
when it comes to stress, managing stress. So
Okay.
we do a lot of stress management seminars and presentations,
Hmm.
and just explaining how men will typically they communicate differently than women. Women, we talk a lot. We like to get things out through verbal communication, and many times men don't talk enough, and so unfortunately, that's that's not a very good thing. So we just try to help them learn ways to help their male populations be more comfortable talking and having a dialogue about anything that may be causing them anxiety or
Okay.
high stress levels as well. Hmm.
Now, can you give some examples of how men can lower their stress level?
Well, I mean, some of the techniques that we use that we tell women to do are, I mean, it's really universal. It's just whether or not men will do it. So I tell companies to, because men don't typically reach out for help as often as
Right.
women.
Right.
You know, so one idea is a lot of companies have something called an EAP, which is an employee assistance program.
Okay.
And they have mental health coaches that are available to anyone. So we try to help companies understand how to help men become more comfortable reaching out to those coaches, perhaps having a whole entire day dedicated to bringing coaches into the office so that they are easily accessible, they're right there in front of them. It may be easier for a man to walk up to a coach if they're right there in the office.
Hmm.
Also, we talk about the Mental Health America website is a abundance has an abundance of resources there for all genders including different mental health assessments. And in fact, during this time of COVID, they report having such a huge increase in the number of people visiting that website, taking these self-assessments. And the worst part of it is that most of the people that are using those are kids. So,
Oh, really?
our kids are the ones, unfortunately, that are being greatly impacted by this pandemic. So
Yeah.
Mental Health America is a great resource as well. And so companies can have tools and resources like that at their fingertips and really point and guide their workers, including their male workers, to those things, as well as, we encourage companies to have an open dialogue. We encourage leaders of companies to have an open dialogue, make it a very comfortable environment for anyone, including men, to reach out. So establishing a relationship with their teams so that men feel like they feel safe. They feel like they can open up and talk about things that may be going on at home, affecting their productivity at work and things like that. Also, teaching them how important it is to have coping strategies. So planning ahead, knowing what your coping strategy is going to be whenever you are triggered by something. So for me, like traffic used to trigger me a lot. I couldn't stand being in traffic. It just drove me nuts. And then, especially when I lived in Denver, I mean, it just got worse and worse, it seems like, as the years went on. And I just couldn't take it anymore. So I had to figure out, what could I do for myself while I'm driving, since I know that traffic is a trigger, traffic is going to happen. So try to plan in advance. What am I going to do when traffic, not if, but when traffic, when the traffic is here. So I started listening to a lot of podcasts and listening to audiobooks and, even some jazz while I'm driving to try to cope. So, and for me, coping means exercise. Exercise is a great coping strategy for me. Tennis is a coping strategy. It helps to relieve stress for me. So I feel like all of us should have something that we have in our back pocket to pull out, a tool, someone to call, something whenever we have anxiety come along in our lives. Because it's, like I said, it's not if but when. And this pandemic is certainly one huge example of that.
Yeah.
So those are just a couple of examples.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I know with the traffic in Denver, it is just terrible. And if you don't I used to make sure I was home by a certain time, so that way I can beat the evening rush hour and get out early in the morning, so I can beat the morning rush hour, because it is just, and it doesn't matter where you go. If you take the highway, you take the street, you're going to still run into it.
Oh man, it's the worst. That's one of the reasons I left. I couldn't take it no more.
I understand it.
It's bad.
Now, is there ways? I know you mentioned, like, you listen to jazz and you listen to podcasts and different things while you're driving. Is there any other suggestions? I mean, because if you're not a person that works out and you're dealing with a lot of stress at work, how can you get a good mindset to be able to deal with all that stress?
Yes, it is definitely, everything starts with the mind. Everything starts in your brain. Everything starts with a thought. So when you are dealing with having to go to a place of work, I remember when I used to go to a place of work, I don't anymore, but I did. I worked in corporate America for a while. And I just knew that it may be a stressful day. It could be because we have a deadline coming up, or maybe there's someone at work that really irritates me. It could be some lady in the next queue popping her gum. I know that's going to drive me crazy. So we actually help by teaching things like breathing exercises and mindfulness exercises and meditation. So we teach those kinds of classes and helping people to just wherever you are, really, wherever you are. I mean, just taking deep breaths in and exhaling slowly,
Mm-hmm.
bringing oxygen into the lungs and more oxygen into your body, into your blood cells can help to calm and relax the mind a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And meditation is, from what I hear, is amazing. Is an amazing way
Yeah.
to deal with stress. I personally am too high strung. I've tried it. I have
Yeah.
tried
Yeah.
over and over. I just have a hard time. Just my mind is always running, and
Okay.
so I have
Finally,
a hard time
somebody
with.
understands because I feel the same way. I've been wanting to meditate. I've had a friend even gave me a book about meditation, and I can't sit long enough to and relax my mind enough to meditate. So
Oh,
I
I
just
know.
can't do it.
I have tried. I have tried, and people say, well, try to start. Like I tell people, try to start small. Start
Yeah.
with just 30 seconds, or 60 seconds, or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I know it's based on everything I have read and everyone I have talked to. When we have meditation instructors, I know that it works, but I just have to find. For me, I have to find something that works for me, and that is exercise. Now, for other people, throughout the day, like I said, you go to work, you're stressed out. You may not have an opportunity to get up and exercise, but
Mm-hmm.
certainly while you're at your desk, certainly you can take some deep breaths. You can close your eyes. You can meditate for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and that can make a huge difference. Or even get up and walk around, stretch while you're walking, stretch a little bit. Just take a few minutes and just try to clear your mind. Can work also.
Yeah. I agree, and those are some of the things that I try to do, and to make sure that and even with my kids, I always tell my kids to, if you're upset or you're mad, listen to something or watch something that's funny, because it's very hard to be mad and laughing at the same time.
That
So
is so true.
if you're driving, I don't know, maybe put on some comedy while you're driving. At
There you
office,
go.
yeah, find something that's going to make you laugh, or listen to something that's going to make you laugh. Get that, the stress off of your back, and so you can kind of chill for a moment.
Exactly. Yes. We all need to have something that will work for us, especially right now when everyone is so under a great, tremendous amount of stress right now.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
and you mentioned something that I want to touch on. You said that your mind is very important. And what is a good mind wellness, or is there such a thing as a good mind wellness or wellness mind?
Um, well, the way that we think is highly influenced by the food that we eat,
Hmm.
as well as exercise. There's been a lot of evidence and scientific facts, a lot of focus groups that have been done, research that has been done, that shows the connection between nutrition and our microbiome, and the ways that the foods that we eat can positively impact our brain and the way that we think. So the executive function of the brain is influenced by what we eat. The cognitive ability, the way that we make decisions is impacted by some of the foods that we eat. And I'm just so interested in the all the work that's being done right now to learn more about the signaling pathways between our guts, our microbiomes, and our brains. And it's a huge area of research right now. Uh, and so there's certain amino acids and hormone levels that are influenced by what we eat,
Yeah.
and that can impact the way that we think. And I don't know that a lot of people realize that.
Well, yeah, yeah, and I don't know if they do, but I know with the what you eat does make it important, to how your body feels. So if your body doesn't feel well, you're not going to feel well.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
would a you know, like, kind of going back to people with lifting weights and what have you, but food is important, and I think that would be better than supplements. But if there is, I don't know how to put it. If you're not say a vegetable eater, is supplement just the next best thing?
I would actually recommend if you don't like, for whatever reason, I don't know, you don't like vegetables or you don't want to eat vegetables,
Hmm.
then I would ask someone if they could potentially juice instead of eating vegetables, because I think it's easier to drink something real quick than it is to maybe sit down and eat a plate full of vegetables. So you can
Hmm.
blend it up and make it a juice, and you get all that good stuff, all those nutrients, all those micronutrients, all of that in one dose. And you can drink it, and it could be your 5 to 7 servings or whatever it is, and you're done for the day. So I would recommend that over supplementation, simply because you're getting phytochemicals from the plant-based foods that you
Hmm.
cannot get from supplements.
Okay.
Some of the nutrients you cannot get from supplements. So I would recommend juicing maybe.
Yeah. And because
Uh-huh.
I know a person that doesn't like anything green. So, yeah. So
That's a tough one.
that's it. That's what I said. I'm like, I never heard of that. But be
I
honest,
haven't either.
now my one of my sons, when he was growing up, he would only eat green beans. If it was green, it was gonna be green beans. That was the only vegetable he ate. Drove me nuts because I got sick of eating green beans because I would feed it to him almost every day so that he would have it. But it was just like that was the only thing. And it was certain type of green beans. He wouldn't just eat any. He wanted the French cut green beans.
Really? Well, I suppose that's definitely better than no vegetables.
True. True.
We definitely, but I would say we want to add variety, of course, and that's why I love the concept of juicing,
Yeah.
because you can put anything in there you want to put in there, and you can put flavoring in there. Like you can mix apple. Apple has will make it taste a little bit sweeter, so you're not just eating vegetables, which can taste bitter, especially for kids.
Hmm.
But you can mix in some things like maybe a little bit of honey and throw an apple in there. It kind of sweetens it up a little bit.
Okay.
So that's a thought for people that don't like to eat vegetables.
Yeah.
I would say
Okay.
maybe try juicing. Yeah.
Now, can you do that with a typical blender, or you better off getting a juicer?
Well, they have both. So you can use a juicer and it'll just basically extract all the juice and leave the pulp. But I actually prefer to use a blender, so I'm
Hmm.
getting all of the vegetables, not just the
Okay.
juice from it.
Okay.
So either way, but I would say either way these days, because I don't feel like people in general are getting enough vegetables. So I'd rather see them juice or use a blender. Either way, you can
Hmm.
get a make a vegetable smoothie or juice it or however you want to do it.
Okay. Now, is
Hmm.
juicing and a protein shake, can you combine the two, or those are just totally two different things?
I mean, you certainly can put protein powder in the ingredients as you're juicing.
Hmm.
There's no law, I guess, that says that you can't. I think that some people may be under the impression that they need more protein than they actually do. However,
Hmm.
we get a lot of proteins from the foods that we eat, and I don't know that we necessarily need to supplement with extra protein
Yeah.
unless you're a bodybuilder, you're lifting a whole bunch of weights. Uh, otherwise, I think that we probably get enough foods from the proteins that we eat, unless you're just not eating any protein sources, which would really be hard to do. I mean, if you're just eating all carbs,
Hmm.
then we should talk. I mean, I want people to eat carbs, but they definitely need to have a balanced meal plan and
Yeah.
include protein. So
Yeah. Because
I don't necessarily know that we need extra protein.
okay. All right.
Hmm.
Well, that is pretty much going to be our time for the day. But I really want the audience to be able to know how to get a hold of you and how you can help them uh, have a fitness and a wellness lifestyle, and how
Hmm.
important it is. So if you can tell our audience how they can get a hold of you, and a little bit about your company and what you provide.
Yeah, sure. So the website that you can visit to get in touch with us is milehighfitness.com. And that high is all spelled out HIGH. And we our tagline is we meet you where you are. So regardless of your geographic location or your fitness level, we want to come right to you. So we want to meet you whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, as well as if you're in Colorado or you could be in Arkansas, it doesn't matter. We come to you either physically or virtually. And some of the services that we offer are personal training, nutrition coaching, corporate wellness. Before COVID, we were doing a lot of massage on site, cooking demonstrations, health fairs, all kinds of things. Now we do everything virtually. So I'd love to connect. You can find us, like I said, milehighfitness.com. You can email us at thrive@milehighfitness.com. And we would love to be able to support whatever your goals might be related to fitness or nutrition or managing your stress levels. That's what we do. We have experts all around the country to do just that. So I hope that you would reach out.
Now, you also have a book out, and can you tell, is it one book or two?
It's one. Well, I have two, but the
Okay.
one that's being promoted today is called Natural and Organic Healing,
Okay.
and yeah, it's not necessarily. I shouldn't call it my book. It's more of a collaborative book. It was several authors from around the world actually contribute a chapter. Each person contributes a chapter, and so there's people in there that are nutritionists, that are doctors, people like myself that are into fitness and wellness. All contribute a chapter. So uh, the book is extremely, I feel like, in my opinion, extremely well written and well rounded to cover a lot of different topics. And if anyone is interested in receiving a copy of the book, just like I said, email thrive@milehighfitness.com and I can show you how to do that.
Okay. Well, that's great. And I know I've got to do a better job at getting in shape, and staying in shape, but and
Yeah.
find that make better use of my 10 minutes of a day.
Yeah. You
Because
can
I can
find
find
10
all
minutes
kind
like,
of excuses now.
oh, I know. They come easy, don't they?
Yeah, they come
They come easy.
very easy.
Yes, they do. It's very easy, but yeah, please get motivated or call me up.
Yeah,
I'll try to help.
yeah, I might have to, because I know I got to, getting to be at my age. I need to make sure that I get back in shape, because you know I used to work out quite a bit, and then it just got busy and really lazy, and I don't work out as much as I used to. So,
Mm,
and it wasn't, part of it wasn't convenient for me
mm,
as well. So that played a big
mm.
part of it. But got to get the old
Yeah,
bones in there, start working out.
yeah, yeah. And convenience is a big part of it too. So you have to
Yeah.
make sure it's very convenient, or else any excuse will do. Any excuse will do.
I'm a witness to that one. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for providing such a great information for our audience. I know they will definitely get something out of it, and I hope they will all get in there and start working out more. So, thank you again, and we'll make sure that we do a better job, and I'm going to do a better job myself.
Okay, that sounds good, Mike. I appreciate you having me today.
All right, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for today. And I want to thank you for joining us here on The Father Show. And I'm your host, Mike Thompson. So now, if you are a person that need resources, I want you to go to The Father Show with MikeThompson.com and click on resources, and you can then click on the state that you're in and find resources that are going to help you to be a better husband, better father, and better man overall. Bottom line, you can be the best you that you can be. Now, you can watch this episode and other episodes on our website and on our YouTube channel, which is The Father Show with Mike Thompson. And while there, don't forget, hit that subscribe button so that you will never miss another show. And don't forget, hit the notification bell as well. Now, you can listen to any of our episodes on Facebook, LinkedIn, on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Twitter, Tumblr, Amazon Music, and Audible, and other apps. So you can find us, and you can always listen to us while you're working out, getting your fitness in, and being better at wellness. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today, and I wish you a great week. And until the next time, God bless.